Assalamu alaikum.
你好。
Konnichiwa.
So my job hunting process for Big Four is not short. So basically, I start reaching out and research people working in the Big Four, especially PwC at that time, since I was junior year. So I wanted to applying for a summer internship program, and but when I tried my best to apply, they kind of saying like they prefer non-international students. Otherwise, I have to have a STEM major, I have 3-year OPT, things like that. So I have to switch all my network and all my concentration from PwC to other Big Four companies. They do hire international students. So I did applying for Deloitte and EY because the experience I kind of built up before during the applying for PwC, I can't understand how the basic like accounting recruiting process looks like. So Big Four basically are pretty same. They do have like similar recruiting time. They do have similar recruiting process. So I applied for Deloitte EY. I got my first interview is on campus. I basically talk about people from Portland office, but where I'm applying is San Jose office. The reason I'm applying for Bay Area because they do have like more opportunities and more demand here instead of like Portland office probably is relatively smaller. So my second interview is actually actual interview with one partner from San Jose office and one manager from San Jose office. And the third round interview is not like an actual interview, but it's an office visit. So basically they flew you there. You have 1 day, 2 days office visit, and they kind of like know you in person, and they decide if they give you like offer letter for internship. And after all these 3 rounds, I just successfully got my internship in after my junior year summer. What I want to say is during this interview process, they didn't ask me too many technical questions. I would say only probably 5 to 10% to see if you're an accounting major, to see if you understand the business, some basic concepts. But what they're looking for is more like your like personality, your like characteristics, and also more like your behavior stuff. And that's, I think, is very important for students. You need to show you have good attitude, you're willing to learn those things as what they're looking for, especially for internship, because they didn't expect you are like pro in some field or accounting field or something. That's not realistic, right?
Just always start early. Start like immediately start school, just start searching, start asking questions and talking to career services, talk to your career advisor, talk to your classmates, because sometimes your career advisor has like, all the information you need, but some of your classmates might be working and maybe like they want to leave and they're like, well, I'm going to leave this position soon. If you're interested, I can refer you. So that is something that is not already open, but you can get access to if you talk to people, put yourself out there. So that's the advice I would give, is talk to people and just go from there.
Yes, the first step I did, I met with my international advisor, and she helped me to apply for the CPT. And also, I think not all jobs and internship are posted online. For me, I met with my manager in person, and then he asked me to send my resume, and he then interviewed me, and then he hired me.
I spent almost 2 months to search for a summer internship off campus. No result, but during this process, I think I learned a lot. First, I used Handshake and leave my email in Mon Career Services. Then I applied several jobs and got several interviews. Some of the interview are phone call interview. I feel in the phone call interview, they speak English very quickly, so I need to contact with like LCB Career Services to practice for the interview. So I think next term I will keep going to search for internship and also do some interview practice.
I applied for like about almost 10 companies, but none of them gave me a positive response. So I was kind of down, but I met this professor from like 2 quarters ago, and he offered me a TA job over the summer. So I was like, yes, I want to. And then I talked to my dad about like how I didn't get any internships, and also about I'm offered with this one TA job. And he told me that go for the TA job, but also apply for more internships. Then I have this list of companies that I want to work at, and before I only applied for 10 of those 10 companies from that list, but now I just send emails to all the companies that was on the list. And there was this one company that gave me a really good response. They said they don't have any internships, but they could work this thing out. So I have a call set up for next Monday. Then I'll see how it will go.